Hey, beautiful shining stars. So, I wanted to create a video for the unblocking class that talks about the power of unblocking and how important it is. So, the reason why I feel like Spirit co created this class is for one, myself, doing the 44-day wealth class, we tapped into a little of the unblocking, and it kind of like put everything into perspective. It shifted a lot of my own vibration, shifted my work, made me realize what I needed to pursue, to share with you all. Just kind of like a lot of changes that were um, aligned and synchronized so that I could amplify um, my work, but also so I could shift my reality, the way I do things, the things that I want to do, like my dreams of, because I had an idea when I started the wealth class, which I still do, but then I was like, but that's not enough. And not in a greedy way, because I know a lot of people that I deal with, they're like, oh, but I only want a little bit and I only want this. And I'm just like, I don't want a little bit. I don't want just this. I want to be able to have this so I could do this, that, and the other. Like, I have so many ideas that I want to be able to act upon in my life, to enjoy my life in certain ways that if I don't have what I need to have, I cannot do, right? So this is where the whole thing of the unblocking came through, because I get a lot of people, like a lot of people, that either they manifest by doing the 555 and the Archangel Michael law of assumption clearing to align you with your prosperity, or and even in their love lives. I get a lot of people that like their love lives are like very not in a good state. I went through my own topsy-turvy energy a couple of months ago in my own love life, because me and my husband were not seeing, we weren't like sitting together and planning together. It was like I was doing my thing and he was doing his thing, and then we were just kind of like chaotic in a situation when I needed something from him and he wasn't able to give it to me, or when he felt like he needed me to do this and I was like no. So it's like we weren't compromising, we weren't having those conversations, which couples are, is all about the partnership. And then I think it's super funny because spirit is always, whoops, spirit is always sharing that to me, through me, to a lot of my, the people that I read, the clients that I read, work on the partnership, work on the partnership. And in a lot of relationships, we don't work on the partnership, we kind of like let the chaos go, or we're afraid that if we tell them this that they're gonna run away, and then we're like, oh, what are we gonna do if they leave us? So you kind of like suffer, it's like a suffer quietly, or run to Daisy and vent how they don't understand you and how you can't tell them, because when you do tell them they get mad, and what if they leave me, and and I feel like if we look at 2023, it's almost like there's a lot of changes, and it's for us to realize where do we want to take our lives. And I made the beginning of this month, June the 1st, through the full moon energy, right? I was like, okay, spirit, what's going on? Like, I even text my cousin and he's like, I'm fine. And I was like, well, I don't know what's going on. And then I heard that like we had some kind of like Taurus retrograde or something. And I was like, let me blame it on that. But the truth is, it's not about the retrogrades. It's not about the full moons. It's about where you are, what you're going through, and how to let go of what doesn't fit, what doesn't align, what doesn't serve you, you know? And I was like, okay, this is, I want to see this. I want to see what blocks do I have. I want to see if it comes out. If there's outside sources, where do they come from? So I could, focus on that and do the things that I have to do, create the changes that I need to create, and just really align my life into a place of more bliss, of more harmony. So on a positive note, like I started to see like positive energy with me and my husband. Like even when we were like, fuck, I'm gonna have to tap into, I'm just dropping it. My desk is blocked. Even though that like we were facing things, facing situations and things. We didn't like fight against each other. We didn't say it's your fault or if you would have done this, which is something that as couples we do, right? We always have to blame each other. We always have to find out if you would have done this, if I would have done that. So I was like, okay, this stuff really works because I have been scripting. One of the things of the 44-day class and the manifesting with the angels, because like I said, I do all this work, was scripting over my relationship. We got to a point that I said, if this doesn't work out, you just go on your way and I'll go on mine. I'm almost 50, you're in your 50s. Like, either we work together or we don't, because I don't want to be an ophobie with someone that's just going to make me crazy. So we are like, wait a minute, let's work this out. We really love each other, da 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 da. So unblocking does this. What unblocking does is that it takes you where you are and it shows you, and this is the reason I wanted to share this. And I think I wrote some of it down. The power, yeah. Sometimes when you're doing unblocking, you're thinking that the unblocking is just going to make everything go away. But if, let's per se, we do the unblocking and you're in a relationship with someone that doesn't serve you, that's never going to change, that's going to go against everything that you mean, that you desire, that's just not compatible with you, the unblocking will help you realize that it's time to make your peace and move on. Okay? That it's time, that this is not going to work out. Make your peace. Goodbye, Charlie. Per se, when I was working in my relationship, in which I was on the other side. I was if this doesn't work out, and I told my husband it doesn't work out, we had a great time together. We made a lot of fond memories. We have a beautiful family. You could rediscover your youth, because that's what men usually do in their 50s, and I could read more and do, but what that did was we're working together, and it made me realize I like to read. So why am I going to take away from my reading because I have to do this for my husband? Instead, we compromised on things so that way and I have now, just like I have my morning ritual, now I have my nighttime ritual, Does it piss off clients? Yes, because clients are very needy. And they want me now, when they want me, and how they want me, but they don't want to fucking pay an on-call service. They want to have the on-call service without paying for it. It's like, Daisy, I'm dying. Can you come and save me? I don't care if it's Sunday. Or, Daisy, I know it's the middle of the night. My phone starts changing. I turned off my phone. I have no phone service. I think I was joking when I said I was going to get a flip. That I was just going to get me a flip phone and because I use my phone because I Pokemon with my family. It's a lot of fun. But the truth is that I'm always home, so I use the internet at home. So I was like, what does the phone do to me? It just makes me accessible to the people that when they need me, they want me to stop life and take care of them. Yet I have on-call clients that don't do that. That pay the big bucks and they don't do that. So it's like, I don't have phone. So this Sunday, when one of my clients was completely in a melting pot, and I know she was upset because then Monday I messaged her. I was like, Sundays is my only day off, so I don't, because I had like 10 emails, 10 messages from texting and stuff. And it's like, and it wasn't just her. I had somebody else on Etsy that was just going through it. Like, I get that we go through stuff, but we all need to kind of be responsible for ourselves. Be responsible for who you are. And also, like, I feel like respect one another. Because I see myself, and I have readers. I have people that I go to and read and get readings myself. And I'm now working on my sacred contract to see, like, with my numerology report, like my purpose and the things, kind of focusing on everything, because like, we get to a space in our time, we have different, I feel like time is filled with chapters. We have different chapters in our life, And each chapter just expresses an experience that we need to have, changes that we need to make so we could ascend, and so we could expand, and so we could transform spiritually. That's why when people are like, I just want one thing that's going to do everything. And I'm just like, there is no just one thing. They were always expanding. We're always, and I always say Steve Jobs took I think it was like a week or a couple of days. I don't know how the scenario went, just to read the same book every single year. That was like his retreat, his hermit mode, turned off everything. And he was like sought out. Like his needy client was Apple, needing him to do this and that and the other. And, when you're in those CEO high, they need you and they want you and da 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 da. So I feel like I'm seeing like my life, I'm seeing where it's going. I feel like I've been being pushed this way for a long time. And I feel like you need to do that as well. We become blocked because we don't realize that what we are doing is not working for us. And how do we know this? Like, how do you know when you're blocked? And this is why I wanted to create this video, so you can see like all the branches. So when you're blocked, things are not running smoothly. The business that you're in is probably not making money. The job that you're in, you probably don't get promotions. It's not going anywhere. You're miserable. There's a lot of reasons and emotions, and use your senses. How do you see your life? How do you feel? You know, um, and then that's how you know if you are doing something that makes you happy, then you're on track. And if it makes you happy and is bringing you prosperity, you're not blocked. You're flowing, you're synchronized, you're in the vortex. But if you're not, then you have to do an unblocking so you could realize what changes you need to make. For me, for a long time, I've noticed that clients take advantage of me. They do it over and over, and they don't notice it because they're, what am I? I'm a healer. So of course people come to me with their situation. So I am the one that has, and it's a lot of responsibility, because then I have to be careful when spirit talks through me, because sometimes people are in such a dire state that spirit comes through very like assertive, very strong, very like, get your shit together, okay? And then you're like, as a client, you're like, wow, this is not what I wanted to hear. And then sometimes they're more serene and they'll be like, listen, this could pan out and this could work out. So then the client is very satisfied when spirit tells you, this is peaches and cream, and life is beautiful and you're going to be fine and all that beautiful radiant stuff. But when spirit comes through and it's like, listen, Sally, that man is no good for you, or listen, Sally, that job is no good for you, or listen, I'm looking at your health right here and it says it's deteriorating because you're allowing all this stress. And then you're pissed because a month ago you got a reading and the reading said that things were going to pan out, that they were going to work out. And then people forget that we have free will. We have free will. You could decide right now not to do what the reading said, because readings are, it could be, you know what I'm saying? And we get readings so when things don't look like it's a good thing, so we could change up. Or if we do see a good thing, so we could continue on that path, continue working, because like, okay, it's working out what I'm doing, But that, when you're working with people, we're all people. If I decide tomorrow not to do whatever, I don't do it, because that was God's gift to me, for me to decide I'm not going to do this. So you could do spells, script over me, do whatever you want, and I'll be like, oh, that feels nice. And then all of a sudden I'll wake up tomorrow and be like, that doesn't feel like me, or that's not what I really want, and not do it. And then you're pissed because spirit told you that it was gonna pan out, because at that moment when you got the reading, it said this person is your soulmate, you guys are working out, just give it a little more time. And then you're like, okay, I'll give it a little more time. But then you get to the place and it's not working out. Now, this is not always. I've had readings. I have a call on call client right now that her life is unraveling for her. She's going through life experiences just like everybody else. But everything the spirit has shown her, she has realized. A couple hiccups here and there. We shift things around in the altar. But she's been my altar on call client for now 2 years. So I do a lot of manifesting for her. We chat back and forth through email, especially now that I don't have my texting. And it's really nice. I have another one. Same scenario. She does awesome. The only thing is we did major unblocking work because she had a block in her childhood that affected her relationships. So it's like when we do these unblockings, it's to get to the core, which leads us to the next. Where do these blocks come from? Can you believe that these blocks come into your life from the moment that you are created, from the moment that your mother and father, or however you were created, conceives? Moment of conception. If your mother is a dark Lala, like my mother was, dark Lala, depression all the time, neediness, poor me, poor me, poor me, I'm always sick, I'm always sick, I'm always sick, that type of energy. The good thing, when my mom was pregnant with me, I was the first. So she was very giddy. She was excited because she really wanted to have a baby. All her friends were having babies, and it took her a while. She was like the last one to get pregnant, and she actually had doubt. She thought, oh my God, something's wrong with me. I'm not going to be able to have kids. So when she finally conceived me, she went through a lot of euphoria. She says that I was very blessed because da 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 da, and things that I don't share because they're for me, part of my life path, right? So in that part, it was really positive. On a negative part, my dad, I think it was right after me, he started drinking. He started hanging out with buddies, drinking. My dad is in the cocaine cowboy era. So they did a lot of cocaine. My mom didn't. She said she was always totally against drugs. She says that she hated seeing him that way and their friends. Like it's just kind of like really hard as a mother seeing your husband, go through these ups and downs because of drugs. So there was that. In one of the unblockings, I went into my 3-year-old self. And I was like, I need to know if this is real. I need to know if what I'm seeing and witnessing is real. So this is why I want to show you how in depth this is. So I go into my 3-year-old self and I see it's a huge fight that my mom and dad are having. I am in their car. I see the car. I don't know if they hit a stop sign or if the stop sign had fallen over, but there was some kind of scenario with the stop sign. And I think there was a moment almost like when the car like almost crashed or they hit the stop sign. I don't know. And they were freaking out because, this is the 80s. There's no seatbelts at that time. So my mom's freaking out that I'm in the back seat because I'm little. I'm like 3 years old. And I called my parents and I was like, hey, I had this moment. I tell them I meditate and stuff. And I saw this, and that, and the other. My parents freaked out. They're like, there is no way. You must have heard us talk about this. There is no way that you remember this. I'm like, well, yeah, I did this last night and I remember this. And I started sharing details that unless I'm there, nobody would know. Because it's not like they're going around saying, yeah, me and my wife, we got in a huge fight and we crashed into a stop sign. So they were freaking out. They're like, you were literally 3 years old. There is no way that you could remember this, because the whole thing is that as children, like, how many of you guys remember kindergarten? Even kindergarten is very vague. Like, I remember lots of things because one of my teachers was really mean. We had 2 kindergarten teachers. One was really nice, one was really mean. I was tremendous though. So I understood some of the meanness because I was tremendous. But I remember a lot of kindergarten. I don't remember a lot before that. I don't, like, supposedly I went to Disney World a couple times. I had the pictures to prove it. I don't remember a lot of that, So it's like when you do some of this unblocking work through the workbooks that you're going to do. So it's 10 modules. I feel like that's the number that Spirit came up with to take you out of your reality so you could see what is not working. And so you could get into a state of manifesting. Because when you are in disalignment, you're angry, you're sad, things are not working out, you know, there's no parking, people are being mean to you. But when you're in synchronized energy, when you're in the vortex, you notice luck. You start to have crazy luck. Like, I don't understand. I can't show it to you because it's on my phone, but I just got a review from someone that's like, oh my God, this is crazy. All of a sudden, I just have a lot of luck. Money is coming in from unexpected ways. This is like, and they're like, sharing this. And I just messaged them. I was like, oh my God, I would love to hear more like of your stories I could share with my supporters. Um, so that's what happens when you do this unblocking work and you tap into that vibration and you clear that energy, you start to align and synchronize. Now, the first one is very powerful. I actually have it in my Etsy shop, so please don't go purchase it there because you got this here. This is the first module. Is that we go through a major unblocking with the angels, and I'm gonna add the video. I have the audio there, but I'm adding the video as I create this. So you have choice. Like if you want, sometimes your computer allows you to download those audios, sometimes it doesn't. So that's why I now create videos. That one you could repeat as often as you feel, okay? Especially in the beginning, because as a human, your mind and ego is gonna be like, oh, you only need to do that one time. You're fine, Sally. You don't need to do that unblocking a lot. Ego doesn't want you to be well because ego wants to control you. Ego wants you to tell you, doesn't want to lose control. That's the whole thing. Ego does not want to lose control of you. So when you're doing these unblockings, you're edging ego out, right? Because that's what ego does. Ego edges God out. That's what Dr. Wayne Dyer says. That's what the definition of ego is: edging God out. Ego. So when you do these unblocking, what you're doing is you are kind of putting a wall, a barrier, because ego is always going to be a part of you. It's kind of something that happened in our creation that has to do with source and the darkness that resides on earth. So ego is always going to be a part of you. So you have to be the one. That's why I always share the Napoleon Hill prayer to really take back control of your mind. So you could stop being influenced by anyone and everyone in the media and your phones and your gadgets. That's another reason that I feel like me kind of turning all of that off is great, because then I don't go a lot to, unless I'm posting and stuff like that, I really don't go into all that. So that first unblocking, you do that. You first have the workbook that you do. Then the workbook tells you, I have a video expressing how to use everything. And then you have the audio ritual, that major unblocking work that you go through like a roller coaster of emotions and shifts and energies, and you just kind of feel a lot through this, because I've heard a lot of different scenarios and spirits like, you're going to feel like this, like you're going to hear through the audio all of these things that you may or may not feel, right? And then lastly, you write the next. So it's almost like you're going through different phases, right? Different levels, because the whole point is that we have our divine DNA, our God DNA. So if source is within you, dormant, almost like asleep, think about a bear hibernating, right? When you do all of this energy work and you unblock that energy, your God source vibration wakes up, and then you start to synchronize with the things. And that's where I feel like a lot of these people, like Dr. Wayne Dyer, Louise Hay, Bob Proctor, Jack Canfield, like all of these great teachers, they were able to unblock, put a wall to ego. So ego stops, and that's where the blocks come in. The blocks come in because we listen to this outside source that is constantly on our shoulder telling us that we don't deserve it, or all of these negative energies, all of these, or put up with the bullshit from your spouse because whatever, you know, oh, stay in that job because you're never going to get another job like this one. Look at the money you're making. Put up with all that shit. So it's like, where do we set the standard that we deserve more? And if we listen to all the great books and all the mysterious books and the Kabbalion and the Emerald Tablet and the Bible, God is a God of abundance. So if your God is a God of abundance, then why are we lacking in all of these things? Something is wrong. Something is trying to, take you out of your path. So these 10 modules are made to put you on your path. Because another thing that I noticed in my own life, and I feel like this is why we created this, is that I will manifest, and then something seizes. Something gets in the way. And I'm just like, there has to be a solution. There has to be something that I could do. So if somebody's thinking negative about me and sending me negative vibrations, I could be in a place where I'm so up there in the light energy and the light vibration that all of that negative energy, it's almost like the Matrix, right? The bullets like going this way and that way, but never touching Neo. Same thing. Okay, so let me make sure. Because I like, if you see my little, I'll show it to you now. It's got so much stuff, so I want to make sure that I write everything. Each one is a level. Each module is a level to clear all blocks. God, and I talk to God, and then I love to do this. I'm also doing merchandise membership, where each month I create a powerful manifesting printable and video. So that's going to be a membership that I'm going to be doing. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I didn't forget anything about the unblocking, because I want you to be aware that there's different levels in the unblocking, and some of the unblocking might put you in a vibration of almost like you feel out of sorts, because you got to understand that when you're doing this unblocking work, there's going to be moments where things are going to be taken away from you that you're going to feel like, what was that? Maybe some sort of emptiness, right? And it's like, until you have to get, that's why in the unblocking you go through levels: unblocking, clearing, releasing, and then you go into the declaration, now this is happening, now this is, I took away the poverty, I took away the lack, now money's coming in, opportunities are showing up, doors are opening up, people are calling me to make me offers, so it's like, and I share with you my experiences because this is what I know, right? So example, getting rid of all the needy clients that really absorb my energy and bring my levels down to such a level. Like yesterday I did a reading because she's going through a lot, and I feel like it's in a place, because if I saw her email today, I feel like, and she'll probably tell me no if she's taking this class, right? If she knows that I'm talking about her. I feel like it's almost like there's a bit of blame over me, because I feel like when we're in a dire situation, we want to blame someone. It's because I've listened to this person, or if it's because I did this, I had a client that I've been her reader since she was 18 years old. And this last 6 months, one of the last things, I did a lot of healing for her. She was an on call for me till the closing of 22. And then I told her, you need to take some time off. Like, you need to get away from me and all the readers, because it got to the point that every time she was going to make a decision, she would get a reading. For me, it's great because I'm making the money, right? But if you don't believe yourself, if you always feel like you need someone to tell you what to do and how to do it and when to do it, what you're doing is blocking yourself, because you're like, I can't make a decision until Daisy talks to the angels and tells me, right? And it's like, it's almost like you're not honoring your intuition. You're not honoring your divine self. And this is what this is meant to do, is for you to get to a place to honor your divine self. Now, I get readings too. I don't get them all the time. I might get a reading every 6 months, maybe once a year, because I want to see like my numerology report with, you know, what's coming for the year, so I know the different kind of energies and how they will affect me. So I know, so because the great thing about that is they'll be like, well, for June 2023, you're gonna be lacking in this. So, and then I'll be like, but you know what? In February and March, you're gonna be doing this. So I'll be like, oh, so in June, I'm not gonna have a lot of money. So let, you know, February and March, I did make a lot of money. So let me put money away for June, right? The relationships, you're gonna have to work on your emotions and whatever. So it kind of like shows you like a lot of different things. Sometimes they don't even, like, sometimes you are in a place that you do so good that even though they show some negativity for, like, let's say May, June, July, August, you're like, oh, this is awesome, I'm doing great, you know. One thing that I learned through the unblocking is when, and a lot of spiritual teachers talk about this, when you are at a low point, per se, there's this big bill that you need to pay and you can't pay it. Instead of going into that dire state of, I don't have, oh my God, I'm going to lose everything, you celebrate. Which sounds so like, how am I going to celebrate, Daisy? I'm going through it because I owe X amount of money and it might be a big number, you know? So what I do is I live in celebratory. I love where I live because I love to go to the parks. So whenever I feel down, I'll go to a resort. I live in a resort. I'll go to the pool. I take my book. I am basking in my wealth and success. I'm not allowing that one little bill to sabotage my vibration, because I know that God is going to take care of it. I know that the money is going to show up right when it's going to need to show up. So I'm honoring God's source energy by saying, I know you got it, because I deserve great abundance. And if you read the abundance book by Randolph Price, there he talks about like the different levels, and one of the prayers is, God is lavish abundance, the rich omnipresent substance of the universe. This all providing source of infinite prosperity is individualized as me of who I am. So if you go into that state that God's source has your energy, that you have the faith that you're always being taken care of, you can go into the melting pot. And I used to do that too. It took me a long time to get out of that, you know, status, and invoke the God source energy, which is part of you. So that's what the unblocking does. It takes you out of that vibration and places you in the vibration of, I am created in God's image. I am divine. I am the light. I could have anything and everything that I intend and I desire because it's already part of me. So you got to think about it. And this is where what throws us off, all of us, including myself, is that if you desire something, is because it's already yours. And it's a moment of realizing, okay, this is mine because this is part of my divine path. And it takes you on a state of that realization that it's yours. That, you know, we all have like kind of like our powers. Think about something that you manifest that it comes so easily to you. Think about that. And look at why it comes so easily to you. It's usually because you know that this is part of you. You know that you're capable of just getting that. You're capable of manifesting that. I remember and I've always been a master manifester, which when people hear that, they think, well, if you're a master manifester, why don't you? Because, somebody messaged me about that. And it's because we have things that are supposed to be part of us, and it's like different levels. As we grow, we expand, like, yes, I'm having problems manifesting my wealth number, but it doesn't mean that I'm not going to achieve it. It's just sharing with me through this unblocking that there's changes I need to make in my wealth factor, in the way that I'm bringing wealth into my life. So what you do is, when you're doing that, is when you do the wealth, you'll notice that wealth is coming in through your business, right? So then you know that you're on track. If you notice that wealth is not coming in after the unblocking and everything, then something will present themselves for you to manifest the wealth that you need. Something will come into your life that'll be part of your divine purpose. And when we're living in the divine purpose, things flow. Things become part of who we are. Money comes easily and effortlessly. So I noticed that when I kind of stop, this is what I'm doing, the stubborn control, this is what I'm doing. And Spirit's like, this is not part of your divine wealth. You're actually not happy anymore because this and this is happening. And you're not able to do this because of this, right? Per se, right now I'm working on my unblocking. I'm working on 3 books. One of them has to be done before July 4th. So I'm on a deadline to finish all this stuff. So if one client takes all of my power and puts me at a low level, then it takes me a day or two to kind of recuperate. And today, even I'm pushing through the vibration so I could be who I'm supposed to be and do the work that I need to do, right? That makes me happy. It makes me so happy to do what I need to do. I love this. This is my zone. So, okay, I never want to be a part of that, letting all that go. And that's why sometimes I stop doing readings and stuff like that, because I don't want people to bring me into their mess. I'm not supposed to be in your mess. I'm just supposed to help you see how to get out of it. Give you the tools. That's all I am. I'm Ace Hardware, okay? I'm selling you the tools that you need to fix your shit. Okay? You can't hire me to go to your house and fix your stuff because I don't know how to put a nail to the wall. That's what the reader does. They help you see what you need. You're coming to my spiritual space so I can show you what you need to get out. But you can't hold me accountable when things don't pan out the way. Just like you go to Ace Hardware and you buy paint and you take it home and you decided that you don't like it, or the color doesn't look exactly like it did in the picture. It's not the person that sold you it. You know what I'm saying? I know it's hard to understand, but the reason I'm sharing this is I want you to look at your life and what you're doing and who is absorbing your energy. Because those are reasons why we're blocked too. Because we have people in our lives that absorb our energy. And the sad part is, this could be your parents, this could be your children, this could be your spouse, your coworkers, your bosses, the person that cut you off in line, the person in the supermarket that whatever the fuck. Look at your life and see what individuals are sabotaging your energy. Because they might not mean to, but they are doing it because, one of the things, like my cousin works in retail, and he tells me that sometimes his coworkers drive him crazy. Either they're mean to him because of XYZ, and it's usually And I remember because I kind of like read the situation, and I was like, well, you know that she's really like uncomfortable at home, like she's going through situations. So then she's being a bitch to him, and it's not even about him. It's the fact that she's not woman enough to go home and put her spouse in his place and be like, this is what it is. And then she'll go home and do that to my cousin as a coworker. What she wants to do to her husband, she's not doing to him. She does it to to her coworker. So there's many scenarios like that. So what do? You can only send those people healing and love, because she's drastically going through it in her relationship. Her spouse is an asshole. So it's hard, but going through that, being around a person like that, that sabotages your energy, and it brings you down a level. So then you don't see the things that it's almost like blindfolds that get in the way, that don't help you write your best-selling book, that don't help you open up your successful, shop or business or whatever it is that you've always wanted to do. And there's always an excuse of why you can't do it. And it's always because somebody, I'll never forget when I was 13 years old, maybe 12, and I used to take piano classes. And there was this beautiful elder woman. She was in her 80s. Her husband had died about 6 months ago. And it so happened that I was coming into class right when she was finishing, and she was just, she was just starting to play the piano. So it was really cute to see her play Mary Had a Little Lamb. And I just thought it was gorgeous, And my piano teacher said, this is so and so. She's learning how to play the piano. And I was like, that's so beautiful that, She's like, yeah, I'm 80 something years old. She told me her age. And she's like, yeah, because when I was married, my husband didn't let me do anything. It was all about him and, his food and his this and his that. And then he died X amount of months ago. And now it's my turn. And I'm going to play the piano until I can't. And I thought she's like doing everything that she couldn't do when she was with her husband in her 80s. So I feel like we don't recognize that our lives are chapters, and that the chapters don't last long. And you're going through situations and things right now, and you're not allowing yourself to live. You're not allowing yourself to enjoy your life, either because one of your children is causing chaos, or your husband or wife or spouse or partner or whatever the fuck it is causing chaos, or you're going to work and you're miserable because, oh my God, I need this job to pay the bills, when there's like a million other jobs that you could do. But at this moment, you don't see beyond that block. It's almost like it's a big boulder right in front of you, and you don't recognize that. I want you to write, and that's part of the unblocking that we're going to do. So you're really gonna go deep into your life through these unblocking modules, and you're gonna realize things about your life that you never ever would have thought about. And they're really going to shift your energy and your reality. It's going to get to the point, and I know because like I'm seeing this right now, that even though I had a circumstance come up and I was, I did stress over it, but very little. It was almost like, this will happen. I know this is going to happen. I know this is going to pan out. And more my stress is the client driving me bonkers because, oh my God, I need you now. And, why aren't you doing this for me now? And what are you doing now? To me realizing, wait a minute, me first, my life first, what I have to do first. I have clients that wait 2 weeks for readings, and you're just because you're emailing me a million times and sending me a million messages and telling me that you're melting, it just doesn't give you the right, because you're not my on-call. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, I always give in because I like, oh my God, but she's really going through it. And I'll tell her that, I only do this because I know that you're really going through this. and I have to like put everything away, you know, to just stop doing this work for her and stop doing that work for them because, oh my God, I need to stop and do this for this client, but you're not an alcohol. So it's like, when are you going to be the person that says no? No. If you want, I'll give you your money back if you can't wait. You know, when are you going to be that person that says, you have to wait because I do have to do this? And I understand that you're going through this and that and the other. I did offer you my on-call services and you couldn't do it, or you didn't take up on the offer. So now you have to, this is what it is. So this unblocking takes you through that, to place yourself as the center of the universe, and not in a vain, selfish way, more in a, I'm going to be radiant. I'm going to love me. I'm going to witness, realize, see, feel, smell, touch that I am important and that I deserve to take care of myself first. That's one of the reasons that this weekend I decided I'm going to do all the work that I need to do, because I'm going to take the whole weekend off because I deserve it. And I'm going to lounge in the pool and I'm going to read all weekend. So it's like, it takes us time to realize these things. So when we do get taken our power, us come back into the, no, my power's coming back. This is, and if you can't handle it, then find somebody else. If you don't think that I work good wherever you're working, no problem. I'm going to find another job. I had one time, one of the things that I was, because I've always, when I worked and I would do above and beyond. So if I had like a leader or a manager, somebody would tell me that it wasn't enough, because they always would get so used to me being over sufficient that they would just expect it. And sometimes if I had an off day, they would be like, oh, but you didn't do this. And I'm like, nobody does what I do. So if I have an off day, you're going to call me out. You know, these people are like that. They expect things, you know? So I had somebody that told me, Daisy, and this is going to sound horrible. This is going to sound so horrible. But she says, when you get a job, you tell them you know how to do everything. Everything. You're the best. You know how to do everything. But when you get the job, you only do just enough. Because if you give them too much, they expect it. And then if you have an off day, you get written. Not the ones that doesn't do shit. The ones that don't do shit, they're like, oh, poor Jessica because she has XYZ, or poor Sally because she has this. But you got to do it because you don't have any problems, you know? And it was so true. It was so true. But it takes us a while to realize our worth. If, you know, and I just got to a point, as the older I got, as I became more certain, I was like, well, yeah, I'll do more work, but are you going to pay me for two people's job? Because I'm technically doing my job and their job. So if you're going to double my pay, no problem. But if not, I'm not going to do it. And they would get pissed. You know, I had one, I had leaders who were like, well, we could make you, and go ahead and make me. Because, oh, it's part of your contract. No, it's not. Because they're always going to, you know, the controllers, the people that feel like they have power over you, are always going to find a way to make you feel like they're in control. And I'm not bashing like my client, because she's really going through and she's sweet as pie. But what I'm saying is, you don't allow anyone with dirty feet to walk on your mind. You don't allow anyone to take control, so much control over you that you feel that you owe them. And that's part of the unblocking. You do not owe anyone anything. And that's the problem. A major block is that you feel that you owe someone something. That you feel that you owe it. And I know, because as a mother, I go through this. I always feel like I owe my kids the world. But then it's like, well, what about what they owe me? of me being their mom since I was 16 years old, of me, doing everything for them. When am I being, and I'm not like that, because it's not even that. It's the point of, you don't owe anyone anything. Even as a parent, you're meant to guide them, nourish them, take care of them, and once they become an adult, they need to find their ways. But we don't do that. We keep guiding and nurturing and supporting and supporting and supporting until something's got to give, right? Same thing for your workspace. Same thing for your spouses, clients, whatever the scenario. You do not owe anyone anything. That you want to do things, okay. But if you go to a job and you get paid just like everybody else, then you're supposed to do just your duty and no more. Because if you do more, then they should give you a raise, a promotion, because you deserve it, right? But that's the problem that we have, is that we feel that we don't deserve it. I've talked enough. I will see you on this beautiful unblocking, and get ready, because it's going to get uncomfortable, but you're going to have major aha moments, major epiphanies. You are going to break down walls and barriers that you've never thought possible. Your life is going to shift, and you're going to come to a place of this divinity, of this all knowing, that you have the power and the control to shift your life and to make anything that you desire happen. And if something is not manifesting for you, it's not that you're doing something wrong, because that's another thing. If I didn't receive something, I felt it was me, that I wasn't doing something right. But it's more so that there's another way, there's another direction, a better direction, so bigger and better could come. So if we're not manifesting something, it is not that we're doing it wrong, is that there is another direction. It's like a math problem. Everybody does math differently. To come to the same equation, to same, definition of a math, 2 plus 2 is always going to be 4. But some people use their fingers, some people it pops up in their mind. Some people need little sticks to count them. Some people need a fucking calculator. The point is that everybody gets to that equation, that this is the answer, in very different ways. And it's not a one size fits all, because we're all very different. We all have our divine soul self, and we are going to learn how to tap into that divine soul self and manifest the things that we deserve, we desire, and we intend, because they're already part of us. Because the reason you want them is because the divine source has promises to you, and it's all about you super achieving it by getting rid of all the darkness, all the lower vibrations, all of the energy that says you can't have something. And we're going to do this in this beautiful class. I'll see you in the next one. Namaste.